Hello everyone, how are you doing? I'm doing great. Today I'm talking about the Millionaire Detective Balance Unlimited, which I started watching because I saw a TikTok about it and thought, oh wow, what a handsome and well-dressed man, and now here we are. I enjoyed this anime a lot and I watched it in one sitting. However, I have to say that the intro implies it's a much sexier anime than it is. I was expecting a woman in fishnet stockings and a bunch of sharp blades, but she never appeared. I hoped for a kind of Catwoman and Batman dynamic which would have fit perfectly because Daisuke Kambe is Japanese Batman. I wish I could say that Haru is like Robin, but sadly I don't think he is. He's probably more like Superman because he's got a strong moral code and is reluctant to cross ethical lines or go into any grey areas in order to get things done. I enjoyed the development of their friendship. They almost have a grumpy and sunshine dynamic, with Haru being more expressive than Daisuke, who mostly has the same expression on his face. They're both dealing with their own issues. Haru is dealing with the trauma from a shooting he was involved in when he was part of a higher division. After this, he was unable to fire a gun and so was demoted. Despite his demotion, he has the instincts of a hero and instinctively wants to take the lead in investigations despite no longer being of that rank. Daisuke, on the other hand, is filthy rich. No, I don't want to use the word filthy in reference to Daisuke. Like Bruce Wayne, he has inherited a fabulous amount of wealth and he uses that wealth to turn himself into a superhero. He has an awesome car, but unfortunately it is not at Batmobile levels. However, he does have a tricked out Batcave in the basement of his mansion. His Lucius Fox is a beautiful young lady named Suzue. She's his cousin, so there's nothing romantic there, but Haru kind of has a little soft spot for Miss Suzue. She also kind of fulfills the role of Alfred in that she cares for his well-being and seemingly runs his household. He does have an actual butler, but that man's loyalty is elsewhere. The biggest tool in Daisuke's belt is Hyusuke, his AI. Hyusuke is always in his ear, helping him hack the world and buy anything and everyone in it. It also provides him with any information he requires. Well, with almost any information he requires. The only information he cannot access is related to his family's company and the specifics of their business dealings. His family is one of those pulling the strings of society type families. Unlike Batman, Daisuke still has a living family member, his grandmother, who is the head of the family organization. As a child, he witnessed the murder of his mother, or he witnessed the aftermath of his mother's murder. He saw his father standing over her body with a bloody knife, and then his father ended his own life. But no culprit or motive was ever discovered. It all just went away. And suspiciously enough, the lead detective in the investigation was demoted to a lower division. And so, once Daisuke is old enough and he is done with college and growing up and becoming an adult and all of that stuff, he puts on his detective cap and joins the same division as Nakamoto and Haru. I don't think Haru and Daisuke are ever officially assigned as each other's partner, but they develop that kind of relationship because in their team, basically everyone except for the two of them doesn't like to go out into the field, and so they work together often. In terms of crime fighting, they are on opposite sides of the spectrum, with Haru being much more moral and upstanding than Daisuke, who will use his money to get whatever he wants. He even bribes a criminal during an interrogation to get a confession. He causes massive amounts of damages and does whatever he needs to and just pays for the damages later. I don't think Batman would ever bribe a criminal, but I'm sure he has his informants and his own unsavory methods of acquiring information. One major difference between the two is that there is no Bruce Wayne-Batman dynamic in The Millionaire Detective. While I suppose you could say that The Millionaire Detective is Daisuke Kanbe's superhero name, but my point is that his identity isn't a secret and he does not cover his face. He doesn't have a bat suit. Instead, he wears a very well-tailored three-piece suit paired with a slicked-back hairstyle, but his hair isn't entirely slicked back, which means he's not as buttoned up as he looks. He wears gloves when he drives, and he is very handsome. If he was a different kind of person, he could use his good looks to his advantage. But of course, Daisuke Kambe doesn't need to do that because his bank balance is unlimited. Now, I have to be truthful, this one doesn't exactly line up because towards the end of the series, he does have a suit with like nanotech and stuff, but still, he is not hiding his face and he's not trying to embody anything other than Daisuke Kambe. So he doesn't have like an alter ego like a Batman Bruce Wayne, he's just Daisuke Kambe all the time. The episode where Daisuke is basically stranded with no money and no use, and Haru has to take care of him, is one of my favorites. It was so fun to see them bonding in a non-professional environment, and I just think there's something special about cooking for someone. Haru shares some of his beloved recipes with Daisuke, who in turn brings them into his own home. And isn't that just wonderful? I also enjoyed seeing a different side of Daisuke. He is normally so capable and self-assured, but he's totally reliant on his money and technology. He's spoiled and he doesn't know how to live in the world that most of us occupy.
Maybe he didn't like the pattern on his shirt I gave him this morning, or maybe he's upset that I woke him up 3 minutes earlier than usual. It could be that I suggested he have seconds twice during his meal.
Oh no, I can guarantee that it's because his breakfast this morning had some natto.
But surely Master Daisuke knows we're thinking about his health.
I've managed to avoid spoilers up until this point, so if you haven't watched The Millionaire Detective, now is the time to click away. Thank you so much for your time. I appreciated how the story showed the effect Daisuke and Haru have on each other. I think Haru's actions in the first episode, jumping out of a car to save the lady criminal, kind of proved himself to Daisuke, and in the episode where the boy hijacks a train, he follows Haru's lead.
Hey, question. Just how did you know he wouldn't shoot you?
Because he's not the type to kill someone. That's what you said.
However, Daisuke is still very much a lone wolf. When he really starts investigating his family, he stops coming into work and doesn't confide in his partner. You know how these lone wolf Dark Knight types be. Despite carrying out separate investigations, they end up in the same location, and Haru helps Daisuke out a lot, and I like to think that going forward he will lean on his partner more. After all, Batman does have sidekicks and partners. He for sure learns the value of having someone to watch his back while he's out in the field. I did and did not expect his grandmother to be the mastermind behind everything. It becomes clear that she knows more than she's saying as the series progresses, but I thought it would be that she knew his father never really died, which she does know, but I did not foresee the butler being some kind of Mission Impossible assassin. Not so long ago I watched Black Butler, and I continue to desire a butler who is completely and totally devoted to me and will do anything I ask, becoming a mastermind villain, fetching my shoes, making my meals, and whatever strikes my fancy. That would make my life so much more pleasurable. Now I briefly want to talk about Haru's journey to being able to fire a gun again. I've had moments when I've been so disappointed in myself that I kinda devolved and became a blob, and then had to find a way to crawl out of that. That's not exactly the case with Haru, but I appreciate his journey back to himself. He is the hero, the guy who leaps into action without a moment's thought. But after doubt creeps into his mind, he can't quite function like he used to. On the boat, when Daisuke is fighting that Russian guy, or at least I think he was Russian. Anyway, when Daisuke is fighting that Russian guy and losing, I really thought, oh, this is the moment he overcomes his trauma, but he can't quite. And I think Daisuke realizes this because he gives him an alternate plan of action. And it's like, he can't fire a gun, but he can drop a container on a guy. Not fatally though.
I'm here to arrest the man who killed Cho. And hey, I saved your life. You should say thank you first.
Maybe so, but I think your aim could have been a little better.
You're saying I should have killed the guy?
Before he kills us? Yes.
And when Haru is finally able to shoot, the moment is so perfectly done. Daisuke is once again in mortal danger, and he gives such an excellent speech referencing the movie they watched together when they were bonding. That was when they became friends.
Give me a break. Surely you get it, don't you? You were never just a civil servant. You have always been a hero! You shouldn't hesitate to carry out justice. Isn't that right?
I really like that. I love it when a story makes my heart squeeze. Can you tell that I really enjoyed this anime? I could watch 50 episodes of these guys just solving crimes, like an NCIS type show. Especially if there are some slice of life hijinks episodes sprinkled in. The storyline of the older detectives when they were younger, investigating Daisuke's mother's death, was an interesting element to the show. I really wanted Nakamoto to retire, knowing that he finally solved the crime. I did not think he was going to die. But one hell of a butler is the very definition of more than meets the eye. How in the world was he able to defeat two trained professionals? I know they're both older guys, but still, we definitely needed more information on the butler. But anyway, the anime ends with Daisuke and Haru continuing to work together to keep the streets clean. So for me, it's a and they lived happily ever after.
It's the Millionaire Detective!
He said it! He said it!
That's it for this video. I really hope that you enjoyed it. If you did, please like, subscribe to the channel. I hope that you have a great day, a great week. I'm Kayla. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.